Welcome to our discussion on decision making for managers. Management is all about making decisions every day, all day. From hiring employees to setting budgets to choosing software tools, decision making is the backbone of leadership. Even though you do this every day, you may still be wondering, what is decision making? Great question. Decision making is the process of identifying problems and choosing among alternatives. Hopefully from among good alternatives. The goal isn't just to make a decision, it's to make a good one. Managers use two major types of decision making: programmed decisions and non-programmed decisions. Let's discuss each one briefly. Programmed decisions are routine and repetitive, like reordering office supplies, and non-programmed decisions is more unique and complex, like entering a new market. One popular model used to understand decision-making is the rational decision-making model. Let's talk about this common model and review its limitations. This classic model includes 6 steps. First, identify the problem. For example, costs for supplies at the school coffee shop are no longer in your budget. Then establish decision criteria. In our current coffee shop example, we might establish criteria such as size options, environmental sustainability, supplier dependability, cost per unit, and quantity requirements. Next, you weigh those criteria. We do this because not all decision criteria are equal. Think about times when you were hungry and made a decision for what to have for lunch. Can you identify the thing that caused you to select your lunch choice? Maybe it was cost, value, location, or how fast you could get lunch because you had a short time between classes. Usually one main thing will carry more weight in the decision. In our coffee shop example, the criteria listed will need to be ranked or weighed on importance. This can be done by assigning a number of 1 to 5, with a 5 being extremely important and a 1 being not very important. Oh, and more than one of the criteria can have the same rank or weight. After you have the weights, you need to generate alternatives. That is, you need to list the options that could solve the problem. For our coffee shop example, this would be a list of potential vendors for the coffee shop supplies. The next step is to evaluate each of the alternatives. This just means we need to look at each of our chosen decision criteria, like cost and size options, and provide an overall assessment of how well that supplier performs on that criterion. I like to do this on a scale of 1 to 3, with a 3 meaning that the supplier meets this criterion extremely well. If the supplier only offers 2 cup, ounce, or size options, and we want to offer at least 3 drink size options at the coffee shop, we might evaluate this supplier as a 1 or 2 on this criterion. The last part of this process is to do some math. Yes, math. For each supplier, multiply the evaluation score of each criterion by the weight you assigned it. It sounds more complicated than it really is. Let's go back to our coffee shop example. If we decided that the criterion size option was very important and assigned it a 5, and supplier A only offers 2 size options that we evaluated as a 2, then that criterion weight times performance, or 5 times 2, would be a 10. This is done for each criterion for each supplier. Then you add those numbers for each supplier. This makes the last step easy. Choose the best option or the one with the highest score. It's logical, but time consuming. And let's be honest, real world decisions are rarely this neat. We often face bounded rationality, meaning we don't have the time, information, or cognitive ability to evaluate every option. So we simplify, use intuition, and go with good enough solutions, which is called satisficing. Our brains like shortcuts, sometimes too much. Here are a few common biases that can derail good judgment. First, anchoring, which is relying too heavily on the first piece of information. Second, most managers have overconfidence, which is overestimating their own knowledge or prediction ability. The last one, which is one most of us don't like to admit to, is escalation of commitment, which happens when we stick with a bad decision just because we've already invested in it. Good managers are aware of these traps and actively look for diverse perspectives to challenge their thinking. Here is some good news. Teams often make better decisions than individuals if the team is managed well. Groupthink, conflict, or dominance by one voice can hurt the outcome when teams make decisions. Techniques like brainstorming, the Delphi technique, and nominal group technique can help teams make better, more inclusive decisions. So, what's the takeaway? Great decision making isn't about being perfect. It's about being thoughtful, informed, and aware of your own limits. The best managers don't just make decisions, they improve how decisions get made. Now, there you go. Now, good luck with those life-changing and business-improving decisions.